Hi there. So I'm going to jump right into it, starting with Chapter 3, the principles of the program evaluation. I think it's most important that we have that vision statement, and it is best when it is created prior to the program. You need to know what you are looking for as an outcome for your audience. It provides a target, the vision does. Otherwise, there's no depth. You're just providing a program. But if you have a vision of what you are looking to accomplish, you can do a much better evaluation. It provides the tools to assess the outcome. It develops a defined purpose for all involved. All organizations and companies have a vision statement. And I think it is interesting that when they provide their vision statement for a company, it's not just one person creating that vision statement. It is a group of invested individuals in the company, those that are key people, and they sit down together and it doesn't just come up. It takes work in bringing everybody's processes and ideas together to come up with one vision statement. And I think that's equally true for the programs we're putting together. So we all must be unified in the following to have the best impact. And I love these lists. It's visions, goals, objectives, instructional activities, and evaluation means. So the purpose of the evaluation is the outcome of the participants. Was it a success? Did they get out of the program what you intended for them to get? Was it the best program design you could have had? Or do you need to refine the program process and identify effective program elements and establish the merit of specific viewpoints? The best program evaluations to me provide a way to evaluate what did work best, how the participants developed because of the program, and how well the program was presented, and what can be done to improve the program. I think what stuck out to me in this section was the transformative learning. I love the idea of an interview, not from the person who was the facilitator or the instructor, but from someone else. What did they remember from the program? What did they get out of it? What are they going to take with them and use as a life skill or help them with whatever situation that program was involving? And I think that helps create the best evaluation you can have. Did it work? Then going on to Appendix E, there is a need for ethics, of course, because I love what the book said. Family life educators can do harm. I'm sure we don't mean to, but we can. And the Code of Ethics is a great guideline to help us with that. Along with the basis of the standards of the ethics, there are important characteristics for a FLE to have. I thought this was key as well. They should be caring, have practical wisdom, and have hope and optimism. And I think all three of these are equally important. But there is a code of ethics because we can do harm. And I think of the Hippocratic Oath, and part of that in the medical industry is first, do no harm. And anybody that's in any kind of the health industry, we should all be aware of that. That is our first and foremost thing, is to do no harm. And the Code of Ethics is a great guideline to help us do that. And then on to the two articles, reconceptualizing the domain and boundaries of family life education and boundaries between parent and family education and family therapy. So this has been a lot of interesting information, and mainly what it talks about and what I have seen as I've started learning about family life education is there is no clear line of boundaries between family life education, family therapists, and family case managers. There's such a gray area. So if the industry is unclear with those, we can become confused. And guess what? That reflects upon our audience, our participants who we're trying to help. But what I did see is very clear among family life educators, therapists, and case managers is they all have the health and the faith of the family as their first focus. That is of most importance. Because we are educators and not therapists, those boundaries are unclear. And I think they should be. But because of what we do, it's real hard to do that. Because as educators, we do help families. And as therapists, they do some education. So it's going to have some areas that are going to overlap. In education with family, there will be some feelings and support that will come with the education. and the overlap potential. And they talk, well, when they talk about the 5 levels and the overlapping in level 4, I thought that was very crucial. The key to me was the inclusion of the assessment and the special needs and the limits that need to be understood. The educator must be willing to point the family in the right direction. If they feel like they've gone beyond the bounds of education and what comes with that into the area of family therapists, they have to be willing to refer them and collaborate with the therapist or case manager or whatever the needs are for this family, because first and foremost we do want to help this family and we don't want to cross any boundaries. But I think all boundaries should be crossed within the vision. We need to clearly define in our own vision as a family life educator where those boundaries are. If we are going to best help our clients or our audience or the participants, we have to be clear, but there are going to be emotions and some of those definitions that come through with therapists that's going to naturally happen in an education environment. So it really is up to us to have that clearly defined, at least in our own minds, in our own situation, so that when the need arises, we don't try to go beyond what we are capable of doing or what we have the education for, and be willing to pass that on where it needs to go. And I think that Family Life Education is a great program. I think it's a necessary program. I like the idea that it does present itself as education that we can help families before there's a crisis. And I do hope that we continue doing that and continue the education and help keep families healthy and on the right path.